Hey everybody, this is Philip again from Ponderosa Pet Resort Training and also Philip Paris Training. I wasn't planning on going live again today, but some things have happened that have sparked my brain into action. And so just want to speak to you just a few moments on don't fall for the myths of dog training. You know, we're in a world where everybody has access to the internet, young and old and everyone in between. It's not just millennials. And with that, every kind of trainer, every kind of anything is out there, always pumping ourselves with information. And some of it is correct and a good chunk of it is not correct. I kind of liken it to anyone that buys a really expensive camera, becomes a photographer on Facebook. One week they're posting pictures of their new deluxe camera. The next week they've started a photography business and they know nothing about photography. And I'm not knocking you if that's you, if it's your hobby, don't misinterpret that. But there's a lot of education that goes into being a dog trainer, and there's a lot of experience that goes into that, and not everyone has it. And so what happened today is dealing with a client, really sweet lady, but she's been told, well, let me preface the problem. Her dog pulls her everywhere. This dog has been to training and obedience and bird dog training and all that. Sweet dog, but drags her into our facility for daycare, boarding, and she says this has been a 3.5 year problem with her. This was in the email that she sent. 3.5 years of her dog pulling her on the leash to the point where she's very frustrated with her dog. And this is a common complaint that we get all the time, is my dog drags me down the street. I've had clients that have been injured, broken wrists, broken arms, all kinds of stuff because their dog has dragged them down the street. And this is something you clearly, it's an easy fix. But in our conversation today, she had been told by a couple of other trainers, not in the Georgetown area, that the problem was that the dog didn't respect her because she was a female. Now, you say that in any other context of today's society, and you'll get rocks thrown at you and hate mail and all that. But this is what happened. They told her that the dog didn't respect her because she was a female. And I completely disagreed. Do I think that dogs have an ability to decipher male and female? Absolutely, because they do it within their own ranks. They can smell each other and know if they're male, female, if they've ever had puppies, approximate age, where they're from, etc. Dogs can really tell a lot by sniffing other dogs. So I do believe that it's completely feasible that they can articulate between a male human and a female human. However, to say that there is a built-in disadvantage if you're female trained in dogs, I completely disagree with, and I can't imagine anyone would ever tell another person that the dog doesn't respect them because they are a female. If the dog doesn't respect you, it's because you're not commanding respect. It has nothing to do with what sex you are. And so we've got to stop believing a lot of these myths that are out there. Another story that goes along with this is that this dog has a uncle dog or grandpa dog, and he was the same way, so it must be the way it's supposed to be. Once again, that'd be like saying you can't change your life or your behavior because it runs in your family. And genetics are strong, but also learning can be stronger. So stop falling for the myths that people are telling you about your dog, because many things can be fixed. I'll post a video later once I piece it together, but this particular dog in question came in today. This was the first day that I've worked with this dog. I've seen it briefly coming into my facility for daycare. Sweet dog, Wisla. Sweet, intact male dog, but I've never worked with it until today. And literally within minutes, I had this dog healing in all the areas that the owner said she struggled with, and that, and once again, it's excuses. Oh, well, he'll do it if he's inside, but when he's outside, he won't listen at all because he just thinks he has to hunt. And I dispelled all of those myths and put it on to video just to show the client that there's hope. All you have to do is apply yourself to the dog. So stop falling for the myths of what people tell you. You should never come to a conclusion that your dog can't do something until you've exhausted all of your options. And it's that way in life with a lot of things. I'm sure people have told you can't do this, you can't do that, you'll never be this, you'll never be able to do that. And here you are. People told me I'd never be a successful Chippendale dancer. I didn't believe that. I mean, I'm still not, but you know, you can dream or something. I just put that in there to see if anyone's going to watch this. But no, for real. We work with clients all the time that will tell us, oh, I don't think you're gonna be able to break this in them, or I don't think you're gonna be able to do that. And we can. And it's not even using the word breaking, it's just teaching the dog. Teaching the dog another option, another way, and it's building a relationship. The other thing I heard with this dog is, well, oh yeah, for food he'll do anything. Well, there was no food involved. In a few of the early videos there were, and I'm gonna put this together so you can see it. But in some of the other videos there was no food. He was working because he was being obedient to me, and it was a super quick process. And that's not bragging, it's just telling you that when you communicate effectively and properly with your dog, you can get your dog to do some really cool things. Some of you may or may not know my background was police dogs. I was a canine handler and trainer for 10 years. And people would say, oh, well, police dogs, they just must be really, really smart, smarter than all the other dogs. Some of them were, some of them weren't. Just because a dog's a police dog doesn't necessarily mean that he was just the brilliant one of the litter. It just means that he had the drive and the temperament, and a trainer put a lot of time into making that dog what it was. It's the same thing that we do for client dogs every day for the last 17, 18 years. It's the same approach. And so your dog becomes what you put into it. So if you begin to believe the limitations that others have put on you and your dog before you've had a chance to prove it, then you go into the process already putting yourself at a disadvantage because you believe the myths of dog training, that you can't do it, or your particular breed will never do it, or you're a female and you can't do it, and it's all just a bunch of junk. So, not really ranting, it's just this is what's out there. So be careful what you're watching on the internet. Keep watching me, okay? Don't change that. But no, seriously, if you're hearing something from other trainers or you're reading something and it just doesn't seem to click with you or make sense, there's probably a reason. Because there's a lot of myths out there, and people want you to think that you can successfully train your dog with unicorn dust and, you know, a hot dog, and life will be great. And if your dog fails at that, then somehow you were a failure or you didn't do something right, when the truth of the matter is unicorn dust never trained anything. It was work and understanding the communication process between you and your dog. And this is not time to do. You don't have to spend years training your dog or even months. You can get immediate results day one going forward. So, all that being said, I wasn't planning on doing live again today, but this lady, great client, has been told that her dog didn't respect her because she's a female and all the training had been done by a male, and that's fine. That's not true. I've got 2 female trainers that work for me that are some of the best trainers around. They do a great job, and I've seen them work big and small, and the dog doesn't seem to notice the difference. So stay true to who you are. Don't fall for all the myths. As we do more of the live stuff, I'll be going over more of the myths and how we fall for it and why it's not working for you. And that's the big thing. If you've been trying stuff and it's not working, there's a reason for it. It's not necessarily that you're a failure. It could be that your information is wrong. And so I think videos speak 1,000 words, and that's why I'll be backing up a lot of the things that I talk about with video of actual dogs that I'm working, just so you can see the process and understand. And like I said, it's not to brag or anything like that. It's just to show you that it's possible. And so you don't have to believe everything that you're told all the time about training. So for real, this is it for the day. I don't care if 14 unicorns come to my building. I will not go live again today. I'll give you a break, but I will be back next week, and we'll go more in depth on just a real specific training topic. All right, enjoy your weekend.